Super excited to be with our good friend Art Giser here today. He is the creator of the Energetic NLP. He's an internationally renowned NLP trainer, intuitive, and he's a master healer. And so, Art, thank you so much for being on the show today. I'm really excited to have you with us.
Oh, I'm really thrilled to be here. Yeah, I really enjoy your work and who you are and how you come from the heart. So I'm looking forward to this.
We're very much aligned, aren't we?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It is really, really, really awesome. So, welcome back again to the Brain Soul Success Show, everyone. Again, I'm going to just introduce you to my friend here, Art Giser. He is an energetic NLP, internationally renowned NLP trainer, intuitive, and master healer. He has this amazing background of 42 years doing remote transformative healing, energy work, neuro-linguistic programming, spirituality, life coaching, clairvoyance. He's also had 11 years in medical research. I actually never knew that. I'm going to ask you
Oh,
about that. 11 years in medical research and 31 years working for Fortune 100 companies to create exceptional leaders and teams. And you've received 2 empowerments from the Dalai Lama. And I just love your energy, Art. I know
oh,
that you
thanks.
believe that everyone has, miraculous abilities, you say, and that transformation can be fun and easy.
Yeah, yeah. And then again, I think it's one of the ways that we really match is that everybody has amazing abilities and I'm not saying, of course, sometimes you have to work hard at certain things, but transformation a lot of times is really fun and easy.
It is really fun and easy. Absolutely. And I know you lead groups for that. I don't know if I know how you even got started in that. So give us that story. How did you even get started in neurolinguistic programming in the first place?
Well, when I was really young, I was interested in two things. One was science, and the other was the powers of the unconscious mind and mystical things. And I was hypnotizing my friends in elementary school and high school. In fact, the librarian wouldn't let me check out a book on hypnosis, so my mother did it for me because I was so young. And she said the librarian gave her, "You're a terrible mother," look. But so I was always interested in both, but I was one of those people that I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up. And I had that old-fashioned way of thinking that I had to find a career.
Mhm.
Yeah, but nothing seemed quite right for me. And so I graduated, had a degree in biology, but by the time I graduated, I realized that probably wasn't really my life, but I had this degree in biology. So I applied for a research job for the University of California Medical School in San Francisco. And I was, people talk about, imagine what you want. I was 100%, 1,000% sure they wouldn't hire me, but they did. And um, and so I thought, well, I'll do this for a while. And then the years went on, and on every other level, I mean, I had true love, and I was good friends, and life was great, except I was going, I don't belong here. This isn't what I should be doing.
Mhm.
And, and that feeling I'm sure a lot of your listeners have where like, I know I have abilities and I don't think I'm really using them. And by the way, I don't think people have to. I think some people,
Mhm.
like if somebody wants a civil service job that's safe and whatever for the next 50 years, that's fine. But they probably don't listen to your show. and, and for those of us, and I was really, as the years went on, I was getting really disappointed in myself. Like, why can't I figure it out? But one of the things that I really want to point out to people is that you'll have belief structures, and then you're trapped within them. And
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that at the time, and so I kept looking for what's the career for me. But I'd think of one and go, I don't know. And a woman who'd been my first girlfriend in college, who became a good friend of mine, she at one point went, Art, you're looking for a box to put yourself in. You're an unusual person. You're not going to find it. You're going to have to build it. And
Ooh.
yeah, and yeah, not much more action. Like I could feel the truth of it, but I
Mhm.
had no idea what to do with that. And it wasn't like I could go to YouTube and go, how to be an entrepreneur, and
Right.
and
Uh-huh.
having that kind of, I know women can have it too, but that guy thing, like I have to figure it out. It wasn't like I went to people and went like I'm stuck. I kept trying to figure it out myself, which again for everybody here, it's why you do your work, why I do my work. Like quit trying to figure it out yourself. just get some other opinions. You don't have to do what they say, but just to open up your thinking. So things were going on and on. I don't, okay. And there was a man named Bruce Honig, who's still around, and through the student union, he was teaching a course at night on creativity. And
Hmm.
now that's people know that, but at the time I thought you can teach courses on creativity and you could have a career doing something like that. And it was kind of like a light bulb moment. Like, I didn't know obviously he was building his own career. He hadn't found one.
Sure.
I went
Cool.
to the workshop and he had a lot of good ideas, but he told me about a class that was coming up or a talk on intuition development. And I'd had some really strong intuitive experiences, but I hadn't really studied anything. So I went to this talk on intuition, and it really wasn't very good. And they had a table where they were selling books, about 20, 30 books on intuition, which we'll factor in a moment. So they had a break. I went out in the hallway, and this being primitive times, they had a board with flyers on it. For the
Uh-huh.
people that are younger, there's pieces of paper you put on a bulletin board because we
Yeah.
didn't have the internet. And suddenly I'm looking at these things, and one said neuro-linguistic programming. And it
Ah,
literally felt to me like a bolt of lightning, hit me on top of the head and went straight down my midline. I mean, it felt like boom. And so I'm kind of
wow.
in uh, the scientist in me was going, what was that? And the mystic in me was going, well, it was a sign. But so I'm
Sure.
kind of stunned, but I don't know what to do with it. And I walk inside, and so I look at the table with all the books on it. So all these books on intuition, except for one book was on something else. It was on NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. So I thought,
Wow.
oh, this has got to be a sign. So I bought the book, and then I'll cut a long story short, but everything in my life changed. I started studying NLP with the developers of the field, and everything was really miraculous. And a couple of them became my mentors. I mean, it was just completely miraculous. And I was like, people would go, well, you're spending all this time and money taking all these workshops. I was taking all my vacation time to do workshops, and people are going, what are you going to do with it? And for once in my life, I was able to go, I have no idea. I just know I know I'm supposed to learn this. And,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't care what happens next. No,
Mm-hmm.
not I don't care, but I don't need to know. That feeling, it's like
Yes.
and that's another thing I'd like to point out to people. If you were like the way I was, I kept thinking I had to figure it all out. And finally, for once, I went like, I don't have to figure any of this out. I can let it unfold.
You can let
Yeah.
it unfold. Yes. And good for you for following your intuition too. I mean, when that light bulb went off, you're just like, nope, this is the thing. I got to learn this.
Well,
Yeah.
when I saw that book there too, I went, oh, okay, particularly because all the other books were on intuition except for the one, and it wasn't an NLP book on intuition. Um, and then I started studying it, and I was studying it in Marin County, which is on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge from San Francisco. So if you throw a rock, you hit, a life coach, an astrologer, an energy worker, and people started teaching me things about energy. And this one woman goes, this incredible psychic named Lynn Martin and his wife Stacy. They're both really incredible, and they're teaching a workshop this coming weekend. But Wednesday night, if you can come over, they're just going to do readings for people. And I'd never been to a psychic reading. And I thought, well, this would be fun. But I had no intention of taking the workshop because I had plans for the weekend.
Hmm.
And I came in there late, and people are sitting in a circle, and Lynn's got his eyes closed, and people are asking questions one at a time, and he's keeping his eyes closed, and he's answering them. And a lot of the answers didn't seem that significant to me. But if I looked at the person he was talking to, you could tell like everything he said was like hitting them, really
Right
strongly.
on.
So I'm
Hmm.
thinking, no, I don't know why that mattered to that person, but clearly he's right on. But if somebody asked a decision question, he would go, well, it's not for me to tell you what to do. You have to make your own decisions. So being sometimes kind of a slow study, when it got to me, I went, well, I'm studying NLP and I really love it, but I'm not sure what to do with it. Should I do one-on-one work or teach it? or do work in corporations. And by the way, I ended up doing all these things, it turned
All
out.
of them.
But I thought I had to pick one. And um, and he does as well, you have free will. It's not for me to tell you what to do. And then he goes, but there's something else. How do I say this? And he proceeded to tell me my biggest, deepest fear in life that I'd never mentioned to anybody. and um, and then he goes, you don't have to worry about that. And goes on to the next person. And I felt like all this energy and weight come off me. So I cleared the deck, took the workshop with him, and by the end of the second day was doing things that I thought I would have to go um, meditate in a cave for 10 years to be able to do. I mean, we were doing amazing things just in 2 days. And so then I started studying more from that. But for a while, I thought it was cheating if I used psychic energy work when I was doing NLP.
Oh, you did in the beginning? Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
particularly if I was teaching people, I thought, well, I should keep it just NLP.
Hey,
And when
you
I
know
would
what?
mention,
Will you describe NLP for people who may
oh,
not know
thank
what
you.
that is?
I,
Yeah, I was just thinking, I mean, some people are going to know, some people not. What it's
yeah.
neuro-linguistic programming, but tell us a little bit more about it, what that is.
Well, let me just say the first thing that it's not is like psychology or like energy, spirituality, energy work, religion, you can misuse it. So a lot of people think NLP is about mind control and having sex and making people buy your products, because there's people who put it out that way. That's not anything to do with what NLP is about. NLP is about how do you make deep, rapid changes? Either how do
Hmm.
you clear old unconscious blocks and programming, and then the opposite, how do you, if somebody else is skillful at something, how do you transfer that to yourself or another person? And and it's
Hmm.
all based on the original definition of NLP that I liked was that it's a study of the nature of subjective experience. So that whole idea was whatever's happening in the world,
Hmm.
it's how we interpret it in our brain that will make all the difference.
Of course.
You know, and
Yes.
and sometimes it's the simplest things. When I would play football in high school, I hated being on the kickoff return team. And if people in other countries, it's like the other team kicks the ball and then you all run and either try to grab it or protect the person on your team who's got it. And it seemed like everybody knew where the ball was going to land before me. And
Oh.
and I
Oh.
kept thinking, I mean, I was just a couple second or so later, but that makes all the difference. And I kept thinking, how do they know where it's going to land? And people go, keep your eye on the ball. And I go, well, I do keep my eye on the ball. I still don't know where it's going to land. And one thing about NLP is a lot of skills, people don't tell you the most important part because they think it's obvious. It's so
Ah.
obvious to them. It'd be like somebody, if you went, well, how do you eat a tamale? They're not going to tell you to chew. They're going to assume you know how to do that. They can tell you how to unwrap it. So I'd be keeping my eye on the ball. I still didn't know where it was going to land. But what I didn't realize is I was talking to myself and in
Hmm.
words trying to figure out where it was going to land. And it wasn't until I studied NLP that I realized what other people were doing was they were making arcs. So they'd look at the football and they'd trace the arc and see where the arc landed.
Oh, so they were tracing that arc. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
visually. So
Visually.
they were telling me to look at the football, and to them it was obvious when then you just see where the arc goes. But nobody says that part because if you're good at it, why would you? It'd be like, well, I don't have to tell you to chew your food. It's
It's hard to describe that really. Like, it's like some people just do
yeah,
it. And so because they do it there, I mean, there's a lot of things that I just do, but I don't know how to describe them because I think everyone can do them.
exactly.
Right?
Or they, or you don't even think of it as a thing to do because it's just
Yeah,
so automatic. So
exactly.
So NLP does that both for problems and for solutions. So for problems, they go,
Mhm.
so like let's say you have a phobia, in NLP go, how are you manufacturing the phobia? Because no matter how you got the phobia,
Mhm.
so if you have elevator phobia, every time you go in an elevator, you have to create a response. So we would look at what happens in your mind, in your brain at that moment. So
Ah,
so sometimes we deal with the past, but even more importantly, no matter how you got the phobia, how are you recreating it and how would you create something different? And if it's a skill,
Mm.
like let's say it's, I worked with a photographer once who really high level professional photographer, but she'd get creative blocks sometimes. And I was able to analyze how she did it when it worked and what could glitch and give her an alternate strategy because what we'll do, we keep trying to do the thing that's not working
Mm-hmm.
because we don't know there's another way to do it. So NLP is both the study of excellence and how do you reproduce it, and the study of how do we create problems and take that apart. And the most famous person in our field is Tony Robbins.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got his own, I will dominate. I mean, literally, he says he dominates people into changing,
Yes.
which
Yes.
I always think, I mean, he's helped a ton of people, but I gotta think it's not quite the message I want to give the world. I will dominate you into changing. But I mean, it helps obviously tons of people. But the core of his ability to change people's lives comes from his study of NLP. And when I
Mm-hmm.
listen to him, it's funny because a lot of the things he says is what our teachers taught us back in the 80s.
In
I
the
think he started
80s.
about a year before me, did a little better on the marketing. I mean, he's massively talented. But so NLP is this logical transformative system. But where it breaks down is, let's say you run into karma, or maybe the problem is energetic programming in your chakras, or you've
Mm-hmm.
absorbed energies from other people. So
Mm.
in psychology and NLP, you assume every emotion you're feeling is yours, and it's not true. That
Uh-huh.
we absorb other people's emotional energy. And for anybody listening, any emotional state that you have that you don't handle, either you have it too often, like you're anxious all the time,
Mm-hmm.
or when it comes up, you handle it really badly. There's a 99% chance that 90% of the energy is not yours. And that's why you
Mm-hmm.
handle it badly. Um, because you can't really, you can suppress it, you can handle it, but you can't heal it because it's not yours. So what I teach people to do is how do you clear other people's emotional energy out of your space? Then you
Mm-hmm.
can work with your authentic emotions, which is a gazillion times easier.
Yes. That's where we're really aligned because I do the
Yeah.
same thing, but differently,
Yeah.
just differently. It's
Oh, yeah.
a different doorway in. But like you, I believe in what I find with people is you're right. 90% of the stuff that you might be feeling or the things they're almost like attachments from
Yeah.
other people. And we have to clear that first and then rewire your brain, body, soul.
Exactly.
That's my words, but it might be different in NLP. Then we
No,
rewire
exactly.
with what you do want, with what
Yeah.
you want to have in your life, because you can have anything, and you are miraculous, and you're amazing, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think I work, that as people know, there's different pathways to get to the same place. And one of the things I like about your work is we have very similar visions for where we want to take people to. And
Hmm.
what's wonderful is there's more than one way to get there. And yeah, and again with typical NLP, like say one of the limitations is you'll teach people how to switch emotional states and handle emotional states. But I
Hmm.
go, well, let's clear out what's not yours, or you'll integrate internal conflicts. But half the time, people are integrating programming from somebody else.
Yes. Yes. And then they're not their authentic self.
Right.
What are some of the techniques that you find that you use? Like, is there anything you can walk us through in just a few minutes here on
Yeah.
yeah, that would be kind of cool. So yeah, give us some of that art, some of that juice.
Yeah. I've been
The
accused that
art juice.
I was interviewed by Los Angeles Tribune, which is a whole publishing company recently, and when I was done, one goes, "Oh, that was a mini workshop." So, so a couple things for people. One is the more playful you are with the techniques, the more powerful they are. There's some techniques where it's about thinking hard and doing it right. In energetic NLP, it's about being playful. When you're
Mhm,
playful, even if it's a serious issue, but if you
mhm.
if you don't take it too seriously, if you don't try to make it true or not true. So like if I was talking to a group of 5-year-olds and I went, okay, imagine the room's filled with sparkling gold energy. I'd have to put on sunglasses. They
Uh-huh,
they
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 would see it.
giggle and they go, okay, and it would, you know. because
Uh-huh.
energy follows thought and intention. So when you're playful like that, and when you don't worry about it working or not working, but you just treat it like a little fun game, that opens up the portals both for your spirit and your soul and for
Mhm.
your unconscious mind to do what they can do. So
Mhm.
one of the, and I like to use symbols and metaphors a lot. And one that
Mhm.
I really like is the idea of a magnet, because
Okay.
almost everybody played with magnets when they were a child.
Mhm.
And your unconscious mind and your spirit know if you hold up a pin and you hold up a magnet and you all you have to do is let go of the pin and the magnet grabs it.
Mhm.
So all you have to do is say, I'm letting go. Um, so that's wired into people. So a real simple technique that people can use anytime you can do it when you wake up in the morning. You can do it before you go to bed at night. If you do it in the morning, um, you'll clear your energy. And I'm one of those people, I often wake up like, but I'll take a minute and do this. And it's like, hello, world. And if you do it before you go to bed,
Mhm.
you'll sleep better. Your dreams will be different. If you do it before a big meeting, you'll be better. If you do it after the holidays, well, I guess depending on people watching this, when the holidays are coming up, if your family triggers you, if you do this, if you get triggered and you do this, you'll handle your relatives much better. So
Great.
techniques
Yes.
couldn't be simpler. You imagine a giant magnet out in front of you,
Okay.
and then you give your soul permission to go through your body and energy field. And I mean, because energy is trapped in your body and in your excuse me, in your energy field. And you just go, any energies that aren't mine and aren't helpful, I'm letting go of them and the magnets pulling them off.
Nice.
Yeah. And you're not trying to get everything. It's whatever's right to let go of right now. And your soul will know that.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't try to figure it out. You just go, and thing is, notice I'm not saying negative energies. In energetic NLP, we don't call energies positive or negative because as soon as you label them as negative, there's a tendency to go into resistance to them. And what we resist persists. And that's energetically very true. So the energies are either yours or they're not. If they're
Mm-hmm.
not yours, they're helpful or not. If they
Mm-hmm.
are yours, they belong in present time or not. So, like old, painful, emotional energies don't belong here. So you
Mm-hmm.
just go, okay, any emotions that aren't mine, that aren't helpful, any emotions that don't belong in present time,
Mm-hmm.
and are just going off to the magnet.
Nice.
And I entertain myself. I see like little symbols. I don't know what they are, but like little cartoonish things go off. Some, like say, if you make it kind of fun, it's easier. Then you drop the magnet into the earth and you give the earth permission to transmute the energy back into pure energy, and the earth can do whatever it wants with it.
Mm.
So we're going to do 4 magnets. You put one magnet high above your head,
Okay.
at least about 12 feet, 4 meters above your head, because there aren't just 7 chakras. There are a lot of chakras, and they're not all in your body. There's a number of very important chakras above people's heads, and your
Mm-hmm.
soul knows all about it. So your conscious mind doesn't have to figure it out. So you just imagine from your shoulders on up,
Mm-hmm.
you're releasing again energies that aren't yours, aren't helpful, or ones that don't belong in present time. And just imagine that whole space above your head is being cleared. And if
Mm.
there's any tug of war with any of the energies, just leave them alone for now. There's something to do with that, but that's a little more advanced. Just whatever comes off easily. You drop that into the earth, let the earth transmute the energies. One of my favorites, put a magnet behind you and let it clear the back of your body and the back of your energy field.
Oh,
Because energies
yes.
literally hide behind people's backs.
Yes.
And it's not that evil or bad, but they just do. So just imagine the whole back part of your body and energy field are being cleared from, again, from about 9 feet above to about 3 feet below. Drop that into the earth. And then the fourth and last magnet is in the earth. And it's particularly clearing from about your waist on down through your legs, feet, and your whole aura, your whole energy field around your legs. And there are chakras below your feet going down about 1 meter, 3 feet. Just imagine that's all being cleared. And just let your soul figure it all out. I'm kind of a type A lazy person, that it's like, let my soul figure it out. That's not my conscious mind. My conscious mind sets the intention. My soul figures it out.
Nice.
And then what's super important, so all the magnets are in the earth dissolved with the energies. One of the two quotes I know from Aristotle is nature abhors a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum, which means if you leave a space, something will fill it. So imagine your soul filling your body and your energy field with energies that will be helpful for you. And so you can imagine being gold or rainbow colored. Imagine they're going into the cells and your DNA, because you don't just have physical DNA, you have energetic DNA, the mitochondria in the cells, your organs are filling up with helpful energies, all your body systems, all the layers of your aura, which is in and around you in all directions, all your chakras, and then all the energy channels in you, the meridians and nadis, they're all filling up with helpful energies. And it's as simple as that. So again, for people, there's 4 magnets, front, above, behind, below. You let your soul release any energies that aren't yours and aren't helpful or don't belong in present time. Just whatever ones come off easily at that moment. They go into the earth, get transmuted. So you do that for all 4 magnets. And then very important to fill up. And I recommend when people do it first thing, like I'll wake up, I'll usually do it just in bed. And immediately I feel a million times better. You can do it before a meeting or event or a date or anything. You can, if people are triggering you, when you practice it, you can do it even when you're around people, but you can always just go, oh, excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom.
And do it there, yes.
Yeah, do it there. I mean, nobody's going, are you really going to the bathroom?
That was very powerful. That was powerful.
Oh,
I have to tell you, because I had something in my back, maybe like T4, T5 around there, thoracic, like the middle of my back. And I was like,
yeah.
what is this? Does I like to, because I've been lifting weights. I'm like, is that just my muscles? Like, what's going on back there? And then will you put with a magnet behind the back right now? Man, did I feel that pull. It was awesome. I was just like, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. And if you
Yeah,
don't mind my pointing out, you've got some little cords, but a really big cord going into your back in that area.
I do.
So,
Okay.
with your permission, I can help you
Yeah,
loosen it up.
please do.
One of the things that in the energetic NLP approach, and I'm so grateful my teachers taught me, is a lot of people just cut cords. And the problem with that is like if you're weeding a garden and you pick up the top of the weed, the roots are still there. So what I was taught, what I was believe is, I don't believe in the whole energy vampire thing. And I understand why people feel that way, like because you can feel the energy being pulled, but nobody has the power over your energy field unless something in you is letting them do it. And so it can be karma, contracts, unconscious programming, belief, like, oh, I have to help people, so I got to give them my energy. So when I help somebody release cords, the first thing we're doing is healing whatever the cord's hooked into, whatever old programming or belief that,
Okay. Uh-huh.
You're a very compassionate person. I'm sure most of your listeners are, that's why they're attracted to you. And so sometimes people can get in the part of it's like, oh, I want to help everybody. So like, okay.
Yeah, that's my, I'm learning that lesson right now. It's I kind of over mother people, I guess, just because I'm so passionate and I love it. So it is sort of time for balance in my life, if you will.
Can I give you a quick, easy technique for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have ways that you do grounding, like yeah. So, uh, and for everybody, just make it super simple. You can just imagine near the base of your spine, a tube of energy going to the earth
Okay.
that acts like the root of a tree. You can release what what your soul no longer wants into the earth, and coming up as Mother Earth, Mother Nature energies. And you could be at the top of a skyscraper in New York City, and Mother Nature, Mother Earth is everywhere.
Mhm.
But what you do is there's something called gender grounding. And I was
Okay.
speaking at the 13th annual Energy Healers Conference, and a lot of the people there were women healers, and nobody had ever taught them this, and they were all going. So the idea is probably starting with past lives even, but in the womb
Mhm.
and the rest of our lives, we're absorbing gender energies from our parents and other people,
Mhm.
and it tells us how to be a woman, how to be a man, kind of thing. And then as you grow up, you get all this programming. And for women, of course, a lot of the programming is you must take care of others.
Yes.
And, and it doesn't have good boundaries. So,
So true.
so if you imagine from your chest area and from your pelvic area, particularly the sexual organs,
Mhm.
um, imagine there's little grounding tubes of energy that are going into your main grounding, and give your spirit permission to ground out everybody else's female energy. And you can actually
Mhm.
also do it with male energy.
Mhm.
Anybody's gender energies that are in you, that they're going into the earth and in all their programming. And then your soul is, then you can imagine like there's a dial, and your soul's going to dial up your authentic gender energies. And we all have male and female energies, and depending on what we're doing, they go up and down. But we want our authentic ones.
Mhm.
And obviously, women have a lot more female, less male typically, and same with men. Though obviously, there's a lot of variations on that. But just the intention that all this programming about how to be a woman is being released, and that your soul is replacing it with what it wants you to believe.
Mhm.
There you go. Can you feel that?
I can.
Yeah.
It's really
And
important. Yeah.
it's huge, and it's huge
Yeah.
for men and women. And
Mhm.
but for women, it really helps you have better boundaries. And it's like, because women have
Mhm.
all this programming that's designed around babies, like take care of, take care of. Well, we're
Mhm.
not all your babies. And when your babies grow up, they're not your babies. So this allows you to have more boundaries. And what's
Mhm.
interesting for people if they try this, when you dial up your authentic energy, it's like authentic female energy is not necessarily girlish or seductive. It's a strong female energy. If you
Mhm.
want to be girlish and seductive, fine.
Mhm.
You know, you can do anything you want with it. And the same for when men dial up their authentic male energy, not all the programming.
Mhm.
It's not aggressive, it's just strong. And you could be aggressive or you could be taking care of a baby. But
Right. It's
it's
strong.
your body's authentic energy without all the programming.
Right. Right. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's really beautiful art. As simple as that is, it's powerful.
Oh, it's I haven't actually taught that for a while, and well, I have groups that we do it ongoingly, but like I say, particularly for, I mean, men like it too, but particularly for women who are compassionate and take care of people, they're going to go like, oh, thank God, I can decide.
You can decide. And how often would someone need to do that?
Um, it'd be a good thing to do anytime you're in a situation where you're getting triggered.
Where you're
But
getting triggered. Okay.
yeah, but it's
Okay.
but doing it, once a week or something, uh,
Uh-huh.
would be a really good idea. And when you've really released stuff, well, it gets a little complicated. Some of what we release is just will stay gone.
Mhm.
Other times there are other techniques you need to do, that actually I have free videos that tell people how to do it, where you work again on the what in you did it hook into, so that you
Uh-huh.
don't keep absorbing that from other people. Um,
Right.
so
Right.
so I would say for women who are helping people like you, do it before you see clients. You can do it while you're seeing clients. Just,
Uh-huh.
because it's just in the back of your mind going, okay, gender grounding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Just do that
and
gender
then
thing. Yeah.
and then after you see them for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And another, uh, so many of these things are so simple. Another thing, when you're done with a client, um, or for people who don't have clients, when you're done with interaction with somebody you've been helping,
Mhm.
uh, in your mind, just imagine their healing is continuing, but you're no longer part of it.
Yes, I think I do. I mean, I do that because I have to, otherwise I couldn't see so many people.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like you do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I couldn't um when I was learning energy work, I had a teacher who said, "You want to picture your body like Swiss cheese." And the
Hmm.
energy comes in and goes through the holes. And
I
I
like
remember
that.
I looked at her and I mean, this is 20 years ago,
Yeah.
25 years ago now. I looked at her art and I said, "I don't like Swiss cheese." And, and I picked a different visual. So the visual I see is more like wispy bamboo, almost like pussy
Oh,
willows
nice.
blowing in the wind.
Oh, nice. That's a great
And
one.
and I just see it go right through. Like it doesn't stick to me. Like the energy doesn't stick to me.
Oh, that's
Otherwise
fantastic.
I couldn't do so many people, right?
Well, so few people who help people know that, which is why so many healers and stuff aren't healthy. And
Mhm.
another, I like your willows one. Another image you can use is people call it body of glass. And it's like
Okay.
it just goes through me. So you're not resisting it.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like the Swiss cheese, but it's a better image.
Uh-huh. Yes, yes.
Another thing I'll teach people, I'll go create a little symbol, and uh yeah, for people who don't know how a lightning rod works. So a lightning rod doesn't fight the lightning, it redirects it. It's kind of like a keto or something. So you put a lightning rod on top of a house, and then you have a wire go around the roof, down the side into the earth. So if lightning hits the rod, and instead of going through the house, it just redirects. So
Oh, okay.
you're not fighting it, you just give it a different pathway.
Mhm.
So you can put grounded symbols around you and ask your soul, like, if energies are coming towards me that we don't want, they just hit the symbol and redirect into the earth.
Oh, nice.
And for extra credit, you go, if I'm putting out energies that I don't want other people to have to deal with, which is really great, particularly in difficult situations. They hit the symbol and go into the earth. Um,
I like that. That's a great tip.
yeah. And the one
Yeah.
thing though, you don't want the symbol any higher than your solar plexus. Because if the
Okay.
symbol's up here, they'll energetically feel it. Or if it's here, they'll feel the
Uh,
disconnect. I mean, you can do it if you want to, but if you have it at like solar plexus level, you can still be very connected without taking each other's energy on. Because any
right.
energy coming still goes
Right.
back into the lightning rod,
Mhm.
but they don't feel like there's a wall.
Right, right. Wow, those are great energetic tips. I usually do ask for about brain tips, and you just gave us like three great, like amazing, exercises and tips here to really use NLP tips that you've developed over the years.
Energetic NLP tips.
Energetic NLP, yes, and I just love that, and I also know that you go to London and you've taught over there, and you've done a lot of
Yeah.
teaching and, work with clients all over the world, and you really like the group work too, right? Is
Oh,
what
I love group work. Yeah.
Yeah, you love the group work too. Tell us a little bit about what you've got coming up, because I know you have something coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah. So
Mm.
one thing that's free every Sunday is it's called Change the World from Your Living Room. And people can go to changetheworldfromyourlivingroom.com.
Okay.
And it's a world healing meditation, and then everybody gets a personal healing. It takes about 40 minutes, 45 minutes maybe. And that's every Sunday at 10 a.m. But I have one of my favorite programs is coming up, and I for a few things have come up, so I've actually moved it back a few weeks. So it's
Okay.
going to be now, it'll be online with Zoom November. I'm looking at my calendar. Yes, I always like to double check myself. 8th and 9th with the optional. So it's Saturday, Sunday with an optional Monday. And it's called Discover Your Miraculous Abilities. Discover Your Miraculous Abilities, or we call it
Nice.
DIMA for short. And in it, it's going to be 2 or 3 days of clearing karma, spiritual contracts, unconscious programming,
Mhm.
limiting beliefs, and but along with it, there's going to be a number of empowerments to open up people's abilities to use transformative energy work with themselves and with other people, even remotely. At the end of it, people would be able to work with anybody in the world energetically and to do it safely because
Mm-hmm.
there, I could do it more quickly with people, but not in a way where it's, when you talk about your Swiss cheese, things like how do you not take on their energy?
Right. You have
Which
to
is,
teach that or learn it and practice it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
my first teachers didn't teach me that. And at the time, I was one of those people, the gym people would go,
Mm-hmm.
hey, how can I build up my arms like you or my shoulders or chest and stuff? So I looked like the picture of health and I was feeling terrible all the time. And I didn't realize I was absorbing all my clients' energies.
I
And I'd go
understand.
to the doctor and I'd go like, and I'd look like, a fitness model kind of thing. And I'd be going, I'm tired all the time and my stomach hurts. And nobody called me a hypochondriac, but they'd always go, well, there's nothing wrong with you. And I go, well, that's great, but why do I feel this way?
Why do you feel this way?
And
Yes.
then, and then,
Uh-huh.
and then luckily uh, somebody who later became a teacher of mine told me what was going on. And I was like, oh, okay, so for me, it's really important that it's done safely, but it's like, uh, it's easy, it's fun. And people always tell me the days go super fast. Like,
Nice.
you
Oh,
know,
that's
they,
going to be beautiful.
yeah,
What's the URL again? And then we're going to post it here in the show notes too for
um,
everybody.
they can go to miraculous and the number 9.com,
Okay.
miraculous9.com. And it should be working. One of the reasons I'm delaying, we're having trouble with our web host, but I think everything's working now.
Okay, that's
I hope.
awesome.
So if it's not working, wait a few hours. But it's called miraculous9.com. It's very low cost. You'll be with a great group of international people. It'll all be on Zoom, and it's one of my favorite things to teach. I've been teaching it for years, and so many people have told me like it just changed their lives. And um, that feeling that you can do energy work with people. And by the way, it's not just for people who are healers or coaches.
Hmm.
It's for anybody. And in my corporate work, I would use it with my clients. I'd be working
Hmm.
with high-tech pharmaceutical companies, finance like Merrill Lynch, and I'd be doing energy work with them. But the feeling like that you can help anybody anytime, anywhere in the world if they want it. So, I mean, if a family member, a loved one is having a problem, I could be in London, I could be anywhere and help them
Right.
if they want the help.
Right. Yeah, the remote stuff is amazing. And yes, because everything is energy, right? We're all connected
Yeah.
energetically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, no, your work also works beautifully remotely. And
Mhm.
so it's this is another way. And what's interesting to me is when I first started teaching the program years ago, I thought somebody came in who had like been doing energy work for 30 years. I went, a lot of people will be new, so I don't know if you'll get much out of it. And at the end, she was going like, "Oh, I've just taken my work to a whole new level." And since then, a lot of the people, there'll be newbies in the program. There'll be people who've been doing energy work for 10 to 30 years, but everybody takes their work up to their next level. And whatever
Yes.
system they're using, like
Hmm.
I really encourage people use this with this, like if you're theta healing, great,
Hmm.
use this to augment your theta healing. And
Hmm.
anyways, it's fun, and I'm really proud of it. It's a great program.
I'm so excited I'm really excited about that event. Well,
Yeah.
miraculous9everybody.com. And gosh, Art, it's so great to have you here and sharing with us. And thank you for sharing your juicy work with us and those
Oh,
those techniques as well. What a gift you are. You're a gift to so many people. So I want to thank you
thank you.
for helping so many people all over the world with energetic NLP. Just just a gift. It's yeah.
Well, thank you. And
Beautiful.
this is such an honor to be on your program because um, people would know I'm rather picky about people doing our kind of work, and there's a lot of nice people in the world doing work that I kind of go, but I love your integrity and how you do it and how you do your work and the results you get with people, and the difference you're making in the world. So it's a privilege to do a small part to help move what you're doing in the world.
Thank you. Thank you, Art. And again, we're so aligned and we're just, oh
Yeah.
gosh, and you guys can tell we're, friends. We met in a mastermind years ago and we've
Yeah.
kind of stayed in touch. We kind of like hang out sometimes and do things, and we still start to stay in touch even if we don't talk to each other for a while, because Art's just really powerful at what he does. So you've got to check out that energetic NLP, and we want to thank you so much for being with us. Hey, what do you do when you're not working? Like, what does Art like to do in his free time? Let's get to know the Art when he's
Oh,
not at work.
well, sometimes I like to just do nothing and be, but but I love hiking, the beach, hanging out with friends, reading. Um, I'm constantly taking courses and learning, and I do energy work. It's so in my life now. I do it for fun too. But yeah, I really like I say, uh, learning outdoors. I love being in nature, and I'm lucky. I'm part of a group now that has hikes in LA every Sunday, and I can't always make them, but it's just with a really wonderful group of people.
Nice. Oh, that's really wonderful. We like some of the same things too. Um, and if you were going to leave our audience with one quick brain tip, what would that be?
We go back to the idea using the magnets. And
Okay.
one other quick fun one to do is um, you can imagine you have a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine vacuuming out your energy field, but particularly for what you're doing, vacuuming out your brain and put
Ah,
your soul in charge and just go energies that aren't mine, aren't
ah.
helpful. And
Oh,
in
I like that.
particular, this is what's called the center of your brain. So center of your head, but they really mean the center of your brain. So if
Mm-hmm.
you went above your eyebrows, and it's a very powerful spot. And if you imagine cleaning it out, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
imagine your consciousness is centered there. And
Ah.
it's so that's something I'd really encourage people to do. But particularly if you're getting brain fog, and nowadays people are so anxious and everything, and a lot of times it helps. You can start even at your solar plexus because things can go up into your brain and just kind of imagine all your chakras are getting
Oh, that's
cleared. You can clear your crown, and then always you want to fill up. That's super
mhm.
important. So you just imagine, ask your soul to fill you up with helpful energies.
Oh, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I can see that little vacuum.
Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of
That's
like,
great. That's great. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for your wisdom and your brilliance here again today. It's been such a gift to be with you. And we'll put all those links. We'll put those links down here for you guys so you can check them out and check out Art's event coming up and his Sunday classes that he has every single Sunday. So again, thank you so much, Art. And remember, everyone, follow your heart, but take your brain with you.
love it.